Right, Discovery 5, the all-new Discovery 5, the one with the wonky back. Right, we're going to have a go at fitting side steps. So Ian's fitted one this morning. He's been working all morning. He reckons he's mastered this. He's a professional now. So he's going to show us how to do the other side. So these are ones, we'll get them for sale on the website. You can see they've got this sort of pattern top to them. Why would you fit side steps? Obviously it makes it slightly easier to get in, especially if you've got kids or elderly relatives. It does act as like a big mud flap down the side of the car and stops a lot of dirt going up your panels, and it can give you a bit of protection in the car park when people open the doors. It sometimes can hit this. It gives you a little bit of extra protection from car park damage. I think that's about all the benefits we've got. So if I open the door, strapping stuff on the roof, roof access. Yeah. Go on, give us a demo, Ian. Okay. Will they take Ian's extensive weight? Yeah, now that is good actually.
Yeah, so if you've got a
roof rack and you want to,
and you've got anything up there, if you're using your Land Rover properly, that is.
Access. Yep, good. But it all makes it look neater there, and I think it'll stop a lot of this dirt that you can see has previously happened, where it's all spraying up on the door and all up the inside there. So I think it will benefit that. It will stop a lot of this coming up. So right, so Ian's fitted those. We'll have a quick look underneath. When we have a look underneath it, can I get right? We've got it in raised mode, and then what you've got is you've got these big cast brackets that sit under here and bolt in. Now there's no drilling to fit these, right, Ian?
No, there's just a bit of cutting of some plastic.
Well, you've just got
That's
cut
the most extensive bit. Other than that, it's nuts and bolts.
Bolts. So there's the bracket, and then they've got to run all the way along here, and then you've got a bracket at the back. Now for the camera to adjust. There you go. So we're going to have a go at doing this on the other side. Sort of aluminium. They've got this sort of solid aluminium underside. Right then. So as I say, we've jacked the car up. We've put it in raised suspension mode. What are we going to do next? We're going to have a go at putting it up on ramps. Gives you a bit more access. And the ramps we've got fit in under. They fit under that sill, do they, Ian?
Yeah.
With that little stop down.
It might be a little bit close when we've got a step fit there, but we'll deal with that afterwards.
Yeah, but that we can flip down. We can flip down that thing.
Down, or just put a block of wood on the floor. Come to reverse it back off. Right.
Let's have a look what we've got in the kit before we get on with all that. Right. So what have we got? So you get a nice box like this, and you open him up. The unboxing video. Look at that. And so what have we got in here? We've got two nicely wrapped steps, left and right.
Yeah. And then your 2 box of brackets, one of which will contain all your fitting bolts.
Right, so rather than get all that out, because it's all nice and tidy, we've got half the kit out. So you've got, obviously, the step, and we had a look at that. It's got this plastic top, and you've got this aluminium underside there.
With
and
the riv nuts pre-fitted in the back there, front and back.
Oh yeah, there's the fitting riv nuts there.
So that's where the brackets are going to fit to.
Okay, got that. Right, these are the brackets. Well, how do I know when I've got 4 brackets which one's which in?
Okay, so the one with 4 holes.
Yep. As opposed to 3.
As opposed to 3.
Yep.
So these are your front ones.
Right.
And you can tell by the slope of this.
Yeah.
It needs to match the slope of the side step.
And which is the front of the step? This is the gradual slope here.
Yeah.
Is the front.
Matches this. You see it matches this.
Yeah, I got that.
Here.
Yeah.
So that's your front one there.
4 for front.
Yeah, which is going to tuck underneath. They're going to sit like that. So that's your right hand UK driver's side.
Got it.
Obviously, you've got the mirror of that one for the left hand.
Yeah.
And then, so your right hand rear has got this shape to it.
Right.
The left hand rear, we'll unbox and get out now so I can show you the difference.
Ah, this is going to be key.
It's already
oh! Right.
Yeah,
because that. Which 50, box 50, it is? 50. Is he getting lucky today? And the answer is yeah. Oh, you're 50-50 in terms of Right. So this is the right bracket, obviously.
And then this is your left hand bracket.
Ah.
So for up to this point, they're the same.
Yeah.
It's just this back mounting point that's different.
Right. So the one that's got the hole is on the left, and the one that's got like the scallop out of it is on the right. Right. Put that one away, or we'll confuse ourselves. Right, here we go. Right, we've got some fitting bolts. It doesn't look like there's many fitting bolts. So I guess we've got the 4...
Well, that's half the kit.
Yeah, half the kit.
So you've got
4 for the 4 front.
3 for the back. It's
3
these
for the
big
rear.
silver ones to bolt it to the car, to the underside.
And the nuts are in the car already?
Yeah, they're all pre-fitted, and there's the small black ones that go through there into the step. 2 for each.
So that's not, I can cope with that, right.
Not loads, not masses at all.
Right, we're going to have a go at, right, it's not our car, so we got your raised suspension on, and you're going to go, he's going to go forwards here, and see if he can, I guess you could go in like low ratio or 4-wheel drive or something, but just try driving it up normally. Right. Right, slowly, a bit more. Ooh. Bit more, bit more, bit more, bit more, bit more, bit more. No. Try again. Bit more. Whoa! There we go. That nearly ended well. Right. Okay, so we've done that. You probably don't need to do this. Ian did the other side without doing this, but I was just careful getting out, Ian. Yeah, we should better get a bit of a better video. Now the book says don't. The manual says, or the instructions say, don't jack it up, because I think your jacking points get in the way. This is probably not the safest way of doing it, but I think we'll be okay. Right, okay, so what we're going to do first here, we're going to get that big plastic trim off first.
Yeah.
Right, we'll get ready, and then we'll come back. Okay, so we're under the car, and the first thing we need to take off, we're at the rear, is this sort of like, it's a lower, I'm going to call it like a lower mudguard diffuser. So we need to take that off. Why are we taking that off, Ian? Because we need to get the brackets sitting somewhere close.
It attaches to this plastic.
Which we've got to get off.
Which we've got to take that whole plastic off that runs front to back.
So let's have it off.
Basically, 8mm socket.
What are they just There's 3 of those. Let's have
There's 5 of these total on these pairs.
Oh yeah, 2 on.
3 on this underside, and then 2 in the wheel arch, which you don't need to take the wheel off for, but they are there isn't a lot of room in there.
Now, do we know if these side steps are the same? They are different to the L405 ones, but I think they're probably fairly similar. But we'll try and get under the L405 and do the same. They're quite a popular accessory on the Discoveries because of the being a more practical vehicle, aren't they?
It's just this front bolt here that's the wheel's in the way of.
Oh, yeah. I ought to go and have a look at those really, but I think it's pretty obvious. They're pretty self-evident where they are.
Yeah, they're the same type of bolt as that one there.
Right, we're going to let Ian finish that and then we'll get on with the next bit. He's just got that second one on. All 5 screws are all the same. Oh, I missed that. I was looking at my screws in. Right, so that's the little panel. He does look very mud flappy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll give him a wash, and we got the washer up.
Stones, and you can see the clips. Don't know if you can see the clips there. A little U-clips that it goes into.
Spire clips.
It's just a series of those.
Yeah. Ooh. Right, what are we on next then, Ian?
We're going to take this.
So here's the door, and we're going to take this. It opens the door. We're going to take this plastic off that forms the sort of sill, really, and it's held on with these. Ian's got his little snake's tongue tool in there. And what are these, like fir trees or?
They're like a 2-part thing, but some of them are that close you can't get.
You can't get between the two. Right, let's have a look at those.
Yeah, they're like the expansion plastic rivets.
So yeah, if you can get that top head, but often you'll get under and you'll get both bits, but then if you can sort of wiggle the middle bit out, that'll make it better. So there's 6 of those. 1 he's taken out there. 2, 3, 4. He's fighting 5. So we'll get all those out. You don't necessarily need that
so
one
if
there.
you get the middle out,
the middle,
you can then
get the secondary part out. Right, we'll get all that off, and then I'll show you how we wriggle that out. So we got our 6 clips out, and Ian's gonna have a go now at getting this trim off. So you pulled the rear wheel arch.
First bit is pulling the start of the wheel arch.
Yeah.
That should expose the corner of it for you. And then it's just a case of
working your way along.
It's all just on poppers now.
And you didn't break any of those clips on the other side. Oh, look, and look, that just falls. That falls out.
So
Now,
it's got this lip that hooks in at the front. At the front edge, that's the only really tricky bit to get back on.
and there's the clips. Let's have a look at those clips then.
Just
So you've got a series of these. Yeah, they're better than those 2-part ones, aren't they? They had on the old Sport. But yeah, you
just go into all these holes.
Now, let's be clear, right? So the instructions say you don't need to take it off.
The instructions say you just need to remove the bottom fixings,
and then lever it out the way.
The trouble is you're constantly trying to pull this lip out of the way to get to the next set of fixings.
And there's loads of mud in the seal, and Ian was just getting, he said it was for the sake of how long did that take? Like 3 minutes. You have to take the clips out anyway.
You have to take the bottom ones out anyway, so for the sake of just pulling it off, we will have to wriggle it past the brackets to get it back on.
But we did that on the other side, and it wasn't too bad.
It is possible, and it is still a lot more.
So we're going to take it off. We're going to. Also, we like when we're working our own cars. It's not our own car, but when we are, it's we like to clean everything, because when a garage does stuff, they just do it and put it on. But when you do stuff yourself, we like to clean it. So we're going to clean all this. We're going to get the pressure washer out now. Clean under there. We put that out there. We're going to clean all that inner seal. Clean that little mud flappy bit thing there. So we're going to pressure wash now and let it all dry. Have a cup of tea, and then we'll come back and Ian's going to show us all the bracketry and how we mount those underneath. So we've got the front sort of outer seal plastic off, but there is actually a secondary piece of plastic that just runs along on the underside here. It's a funny old bit. I guess it's just the weather protecting. It's quite plasticky, as you can hear. So we've got to whip that off. So where are we going to start, Ian?
I'm going to start at the front.
I'll start at the front. Which
there's 2 of these screws, same as at the back.
Oh, that's on that front.
As we've got the 8mm in.
So have we got to take that front?
No, we just need to take these screws out.
Okay, to give us flex.
It's just because the screws go into that.
Oh yeah. Gosh, I got it.
They're both from underneath. It's just the first 2, so one on this top corner and one just kind of straight back there.
And those screws are exactly the same as those others, so we're just throwing them all in the same pot so far.
But so yeah, no other removal necessary there. That's just to loosen it, just to separate it.
Right. What about these back 2 then? Are these?
So then we're going to switch to a 10mm.
And are they? So that's more substantial, that panel, but it looks like it sandwiches this one here. Is that right?
Yeah. So we've got 2 here, which we've got to undo, and then there is a series of them
up underneath that side, is it?
3, 4. There's another 5 down that plastic, down the back edge.
Right, I'll crawl underneath there in a minute. So when Ian's done this, I'll reposition underneath and we'll have a look.
And
right, I've crawled right under the car now, so that's my back wheel there. And then the screws that Ian's, if my camera adjusts, right, they're quite easy to see there. There's more of these. So you've got a series of them along here. There's another one. So Ian's got the drill out with the. So he's going to rattle. So how many you got on the back here?
5 on the plastic
and then there's some along this front edge as well, right? Oh yeah. So these are nuts, right? Let the camera do its. So you got these protruding studs and nuts around them. So they just.
So the reason we took the plastic off, because the plastic sat and covered all of that.
Ah, so you're always fighting that.
Fight that plastic
to get
out
these
the way
little nuts.
to get the tool on, and you got to do it all the way along. It's just a pain.
So this bit of plastic, let's just give a bit. So we're going to get this off, and then we need to cut this. So we're taking this off because we need to chomp a little bit.
Because the brackets go up underneath there into the metal.
Yeah.
So it's in our way.
So it'll all become apparent, but I'm not going to bother watching Ian do all this. So we're going to whip all those off, and then we're probably ready to give it a clean. Let's have a look. Right. So we've got all the fixings out. So Ian's going to have a go at getting dirty now.
Hopefully not too dirty.
Oh yes, he's just. So what's that actually holding it on, do we think, Ian? Is it just sort of...
So now it's just tucked in the end. It's kind of tucked over the back lip there.
So you just bend it a little bit. Fight him out a little bit.
And then... That's it. It's that hole is kind of tucked up and in, so you've got to fight that down while going in as well at the same time.
So there's that It's just a flimsy plastic tray. But now that's out, what we're going to do, we're going to get the pressure washer out. We're going to wash this out, because we like getting things nice and clean before we put them back together. So much more rewarding, especially when you're working on your own car. We're going to clean that. We're going to clean the sill. We're going to clean up under here. And then it'll be nice, and when we're putting it together, everything's nice and clean and we're not getting dust in our eyes. So we'll get pressure washing and let it dry. Okay, we've washed it all. We've washed the car down, and we're now going to cut out this bit on here. So if you look closely, you can see that it is marked here. There is a, yeah, you can see that in the video. But Ian's just, to make it a little clearer, to show you the shape you have to cut out. So it's a funny material actually. It's not like a plastic. It's like a recycled woven something or other, isn't it? It's a funny. So there you go. That's the shape you got to cut out.
That's the one end.
That's the one end. And there is a little bit at the back as well.
A dimple here, so it's the recess bit. See that there? And all the way off the end as well.
Okay, so he's going to do that. Right, so Ian's going to reckons that the best tool for the job is one of these vibrating multi-tools.
The hacksaw did go through it fairly quick and easy, but it's just a bit of effort.
Okay, but we've got these cordless tools here, so we'll have a...
We got them, but the trouble is it's so thin it just vibrates all over the place. So.
They put that to... Right, I'm going to cover the microphone now.
Give it some weight. Because
it gets a bit noisy. Here we go, just cover that. You have to get it closer to you. It's... Right, we'll let Ian finish cutting those two bits. He's going to cut that one and we'll come back and see when he's done. Right, and I think Ian's finished. The noise has stopped. We all good?
Yep. Those two cut.
So let's just have it. I'll get my shadow out the way. Have a little look, see at that. Yep. So that's a neat job actually. That comes all right.
It's a bit of a fiddle.
It's hopefully yeah. Almost cut it with a Stanley knife. It's that sort of thing. So there we go. We just check. There we go. Right. So yeah, let's grab that in. I've got the brackets ready, and
so we need to put the brackets on
first. Yeah.
This goes back on.
So we'll get that just round ready. I've laid all the brackets out ready for you. Yeah, so one thing Ian found on the other side was where he was putting those bolts in, where the threads are in there, but they haven't been capped or tape over them, so they have been exposed to some dirt. So putting a bit of grease on stops them sort of binding. You're going to have to put the bracket in first. I'm going to try and dive underneath it. Oh, let's have a look. Wait for the camera.
Try and figure out where it goes.
Goes, yeah, is it not? Let's have a look. Wait for the camera to catch up. There, you got a bottle there. Got one here.
Like is that a bolt hole?
Got one there.
Back there. I'm hoping I can get that one.
Ah, one in and then hook him over. Yeah. Pro touch. Yeah. And I got it.
And then we can one-handed copper grease everything up. Yeah, the back ones weren't too bad. Because they were covered by the plastic trim. Those back bolts weren't too bad. They were covered, so they weren't too full. It was these front ones.
Okay, right, yeah.
That were the ones that were full of dirt. But this side isn't as dirty as the other side, fortunately.
But that pressure washing's a good job. So we've washed all under here. It makes it all a bit easier to see what's going on. Leave those there for the minute in if they're staying there, and let's have a look at the front bracket. We'll tighten those up off camera. Yeah. Right. Okay. So round onto the front
again on
bracket.
The front one, your back two slotted, so we can get those.
Two. Yeah. that's a nice bit of design when they do that, isn't it? They've thought about us.
And they're in this big plate here, so these ones are fairly easy to find.
Yeah. But you can see how they've put this big box section here. It's all there ready for you. It's really not a difficult set of steps to fit.
No, they're quite a nice set of steps. These bolts are all nice and open and easy to get to. So you can drop them on first.
Yeah, get those others greased up. And they've got a spring washer on those bolts. I don't think I pointed that out.
Yeah, spring washer.
Yeah. There you go. Slide those two out. That's it. And what size socket do you reckon they are?
They're a 14mm socket.
14mm.
On them.
Are you a bit fiddly or not too bent?
Yeah, this is one of the dirty ones.
Yeah.
It's not as bad. Get that one's a bit cleaner.
Yeah.
So yeah, 14mm socket.
So we'll tighten those up. Right, oh gosh, right, and then you can already start to see now. I'm a little confused why Land Rover have put the brackets so far at the hold on, let me get the light right. So they're so far at the front where most of your weight's going to go there. One of the other Sport and Discovery, the brackets were not right at the front, they were a little further back. But they've done them this way, and that's the original mounting points. That's factory mounting points, so you're going to have no problem with those. So there you go, you got that bracket there. And then that bracket there. So we'll get those tightened up and then we'll come back and slide the step on. Right, so we're now ready to put this inner plastic under tray, the one that Ian cut earlier in the video, put these notches out, and so these little notches here now should clear the bracket. So we've got our nuts and bolts ready. Again, I'm going to go under the back here, see if I can help Ian. So bear with me while the camera.
Slot this front edge over that aluminium first and make sure that it's all tucked back up inside the guards and bits.
Yeah. You
And
just tell me
where we took the nuts off, you got the pegs sticking down. You got those studs.
Oh yeah, those studs, yeah, on the.
So you got to make sure you tuck it over that side and then get it over the top of the.
Oh no, I think we need to be the other side. That's it. That's it.
Over the top of the stud.
Is that looking alright? Yeah, hold it there. Yeah, so it's those studs there that Ian's talking about. So we just got to get a few of those on, and then we'll come round here, and we should better. And we'll have a look when I don't need to hold it anymore. Right, and then you can see there where we've cut there. Hopefully you can see that that's where when we pull that up, the brackets come. So we've got a nice clearance around the bracket. That's what all that was about.
So we just got to put all those nuts and bolts back on.
Put all these ones, all those stud ones along here back on. All those ones that are along under here. So Ian will get on and do that, and then we'll come back. What will we be doing then?
Then it's
that outer seal, the plastic seal.
It's all just reassembling as it was, but we've now got the addition of the brackets, so we'll show you that one. And then it's just the final bit is just putting a step on.
Right, let's get to the next step. Right, we're putting the plastic seal on now. So make sure you've got all your little white clips. Can we just have a look at your little white clips, Ian? Make sure you've got all your little white clips in. It doesn't matter exactly where they are. You can sort of just slot them to the back, I would. Just check they're all there. We've got all those in. Right. And then we've got the doors open. And he's trying to get that front corner in there. You've got a little bit of a...
There's a little bit of a lip that you've got to just fight over the bracket.
If I hold the back up a bit for you, would that help a bit? Let me hold the back up.
At the right angle.
I've got the back loosely held if you need me to. Right, one clip's just popped out in. You want to just see where this one comes from? Let me just have a little look. Oh, I've heard another one pop out. Yeah. You can actually feel them along the top here. So just, if they pop out... Oh, hold on, let me get this one. Well, I've got it. Hold on. Ooh. Let me just get that one back in. Right.
So now we've got to tuck it round that door. And then it should be flexible enough to, there you go, pull over that bracket. So you've got a cut out in it.
Yeah.
there.
There. But now you've got to get, yeah, that wheel arch will go back. We had that wheel arch loose, didn't we?
Yeah.
There you go, yeah, wheel arch is loose. And then you're stumping along. You can see the reflector. In fact, they're nice clips, aren't they, those?
Yeah,
those other ones, you've got to like surprise them, but those you can just press. And they are really nice
clips. All
clips.
just clip back in as it was.
Yeah, you don't have to like properly pound them.
So we think that's so much less
Oh,
effort than trying to fight that lip out the way
Get
and get
those
the nuts from behind it.
Right, so we're right. Then we've got that little rear diffuser we've got to put on. You can grab that.
And 5 little screws under there which should all line up. You don't want to watch us do that. That's a bit of a fiddle to get back in that wheel arch and stuff. But it's just popping those back in there.
Back in.
And we can do the 2 in the front as well. Don't forget the 2 in the front.
Remind me where those
The
2
2
are.
little screws that went into the wheel arch that held this front wheel arch in.
Yeah, we'll get those in.
So we'll do all those 8
and then
mils.
and then we should have no screws left in our pot, right? Oh, and you got to put the little plastic, and we've got to put those little 2-part plastic fittings back in.
So when you do these, you put the ribbed part in first, and then that bit just pushes in, and to spread those out and grip.
Yeah, so
we're do it 1 half at a time.
So we're going to pop all those in, pop the screws, pop the back bit on, and then we'll come back and show you the fitting of the step. Right, so we're all ready to put the step on now. So just to remind you, we did cover at the start of the video, but on the underside of the step, at each end, you've got these riv nuts that form a captive thread, and we're going to put the smaller bolts in here. We've put a bit of copper grease on there just so that when we go to take them off again, they'll be a bit easier.
It should be a
10 mil. Right, so let's go for it, Ian.
So that's the only thing you've got to line up now. Is getting those riv nuts to line up
with those holes in there.
Those holes in the bracket.
That just obviously goes on top.
It's
tight.
Goes in at an angle, then it kind of.
Which is good because it forms almost a perfect seal along the. But you've got to line it up, I guess, and you line it up there before you flip it down. Oh, you're away forward by the looks of it, Ian. Looks like you're a good way forward. Looks like you've lined it up with not the 2 of them. Looks like that hole wants to meet. That's better. Yeah, because I think what it does is it allows room for your mud flap.
It actually lines up with that body line there.
Yeah, and I think the mud flaps. So these side steps will fit with mud flaps.
That's just a little bit more forward.
Alright, so that's it. You happy with that?
A little bit more again. It's like
That's
lever
the
in,
end,
kind
yeah,
of like locks
it
it in. It does just mean.
Right.
Get it in just the right place.
So let's just have a look under there. See how he's lined them up. Oh, that's not looking too shabby at all. So there you can see the threads lined up there, and he can get those bolts in. And we are nearly home and dry. So now we've got the front bolts in, we need to get the rear ones in. Now the rear one can be a bit tight, and if you have a look, the reason is there's this little trim that tucks up here, and it fouls against that.
You can see up to about this point, it's all
right,
tucking underneath.
but it sort of fits an edge. So don't tap the edge. Don't be tempted to bang it. What you need to do is get like a little plastic tool and just force that plastic down so that it's not catching.
It sits underneath that other bit of plastic, and it should create that nice tight seal we were talking about earlier. And then it should allow it to go back that little bit further.
Yeah, but don't tap the edge because you'll damage and mark the edge on this front. We've seen that happen before.
And then, sure enough, threads are there. Just got to get them lined up, spot on with those holes. But yeah, that's going in there.
Right, so we're gonna bolt that down. Then what we'll do is we'll reverse the car off the ramps, and then we'll have a little walk around and see how it looks. Right, here we go. Ian's reversing it off the ramps. If you are going off the ramps, remember you've got slightly less ground clearance now because of those. So here he goes, back slightly. Harry's going to kick that little bracket. Right, whoa there. Harry, kick the bracket out. Right then. Back you go, nice and slow, Ian. Right, lovely. Stop there. Harry, do you want to whip that ramp out? There we go. So let's have a look how those side steps look. So They do sit out enough. They should give you a thing. Open the door in. Let's see the. Yeah, so we've got a nice ledge there, and it should stop all the dirt coming up there. So there we go. Disco 5 side steps. How long did that take us, Ian? Taking our time.
Taking our time is like an hour.
An hour a side.
We're cleaning it and everything. It's
yeah.
not too bad, to be honest.
It's a morning or an afternoon's work with a cup of tea and a break and getting the power washer out. So good luck with that. It's actually quite a nice little job. There's a bit of satisfaction in doing that. It all lines up nice. Good luck with that. We'll put them for sale on our website, or you can buy them from anywhere. That's the OE style Discovery 5 side steps. Good luck. Right, one little side note, a little bonus bit for those of you that are still with me. Jacking. So these brackets actually incorporate, wait for the light to adjust here, they've got this little bit here with the notch. Can you see that if I put my hand behind it? And that's where the jack's gonna go, because you cover over with these brackets the old jacking points. So obviously this is the most structural point of the car, which is why they've decided to mount the brackets here. So let's have a look. Ian's just finding the jack. So when you go to jack it, here we go. Let's just check this all fits, check that's all smooth. And they should then, the top of the jack has got a bit of a slot in it. Oh, yeah, just do it like that.
Towards you a bit.
Yeah, we got the car jacked up so we can video, so you wouldn't normally have to go up this high. There we go, and it mates over that. There you go, and that gives you your jacking point. So there we go, just a little bit, if in case anyone's worried about jacking and where to do with the jack. That's how the side steps work with that, and that's why it's important to have the OE style brackets and everything, because they do reincorporate the jacking point.